Fighters come center.
All right, do we have any questions? Obey my commands. It's 12 rounds for the IBF title. Touch gloves now, let's go to work.
Just for the record, Jim, Jirov may be the only tiger in modern times to come from Kazakhstan, although I'm informed that there were saber-toothed tigers in prehistory.
You only get one camera up here.
The reference is to his ferocity. Vasily Jirov was voted the outstanding boxer at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. He hasn't lost a fight since 1995. That was to American Antonio Tarver, and he avenged that loss in beating Tarver in the Olympic semifinal. So he definitely, Manny, has the pedigree of a top fighter.
Well, he has all of the talents going for him, the size, great amateur career, all the way around a solid fighter. And then, believe it or not, that crazy childhood he had with a very athletic mother who was very good in teaching sports. And in fact, he was good in a lot of other sports. And then he had a coach who was, to say the least, was a pretty tough guy. But anyway, I think he's very well prepared to be a good fighter.
And of course, another advantage is that he's a southpaw body puncher, and in the upper weight classes, you don't see that many southpaws.
No.
You certainly don't see that many southpaws who focus on the body for their primary attack.
That's so unusual, in particular coming from Europe, where most of the boxers over there are primarily head hunters, and being a product of the amateur system, the recent Olympic Games, where there's no points even given for body punches. But he's just an unusual person, but he loves to punch to the body.
He's determined to do it, and he's made a big career out of it so far. Jirov lives just outside of Phoenix. Last visited Kazakhstan in
There's a
February.
body punch there. Left hook, left straight to the center of the solar plexus.
Letterlough knocked Gonzalez down 3 times in his most memorable fight. Gonzalez getting up from a scalding right hand on the 3rd knockdown and coming on to win the fight by decision. That earned him the chance to fight against Roy Jones and helped prompt Letterlough to decide to move up in weight for what amounts to another no-lose proposition. If he loses tonight, so what? He was taking a big gamble against ostensibly the best cruiserweight in the world.
This is a good fight for Letterlough. I mean, it's a fight that he's gonna win some money, so to say, has a chance to win a fight, particularly being a puncher.
Yep, always has the puncher's chance.
Always has a puncher's chance. And when you consider where he was 48 months ago, to be fighting for the championship of the world here on HBO, he's come a long way, and he's been very blessed.
Letterlough trying to get to Jirov's body. Jirov has taken a couple punches upstairs here in the 1st round.
Yes, and also Letterlough has taken some good body punches, and he has not flinched on any of those punches at this point in time.
Well, he told us a story yesterday that when he was a kid, the boys in the neighborhood would play a game called Let's Go to the Body and punch each other in the body. So he thinks he can handle the punches to the body.
I think he was hit with a body punch there just a few seconds before.
Jirov driving Letterlough into the corner with a sustained barrage of punches to punctuate round number 1. And Letterlough definitely caught something he didn't like in those last 20 seconds.
It's that same body punch that he got caught with earlier in the round. It was steadily a left hook, uppercut that goes directly to the center of the body, and it caught him and it hurt him. Body punches have a delayed effect sometimes. You don't really.
Okay? We had this thing over quick. Go sit. I'm going to take care of. Be smart and watch your distance and your balance. Okay? Okay. All right, go. Okay, good.
Very nice,
All right, yeah, that's good. Win the next round. Just win another round. Just keep putting a bunch of there. No. You got 12 rounds.
Take a deep breath. Deep breath.
All right.
Julio Cesar Chavez is the only elite fighter I can think of in recent times who made the body blows an important part of his weaponry, as much as Jirov does. I don't recall a big man ever doing it like he does.
No, and he's such a tall guy too. He's 6'2". But he'll jab with the right jab to get your attention up for head punches, and then he shoots the left hand to the body after he jabs you up top with the right hand.
He's usually the aggressor in his fights, but he feels that he's had so much more experience than Letterlough that he can box him and still get in his big shots to the body.
If top heavyweights still weighed 220, you'd be intrigued at the possibility of watching Jirov try to go up in weight. But top heavyweights now weigh 240.
Yeah, heavyweight at 225 today is still a small heavyweight. In his last fight, he fought at 200 pounds. When he fought at Dolph Washington, he looked a little sluggish. He didn't carry the weight too good. So that's that hard right jab that you have to watch. And he shoots it from an over motion where it's almost like a right cross. And that's when you start looking out for that. Then an explosion occurs in your body.
Now Letterlough backing up against the ropes there, hoping to counter Jirov with one big shot. And Jirov backed away.
At this stage, I see Letterlough's strength is starting to leave very rapidly.
Well, body punching is like investing. It's, you know, it's like a certificate of deposit. You wait for it to mature as the rounds go by. Head punching is for the quick strike.
That's correct.
Letterlough off balance. Jirov decides to drive him into the ropes.
That hard right jab has been very effective now. Punching again.
Stiff left hand to the body by Jirov. Comes back with a big combination upstairs. Letterlough's got a pretty good chin. Already you can see that.
He seemingly is focusing as much of his attack on that hard right hand of his now as he has the body punches. And it's not a normal jab.
Jirov trying to drive his left hand into Letterlough's belly. Letterlough hasn't thrown many right-hand punches here in the second round. And he's more likely to change the course of the fight with a big right hand than a big left. On Thursday, September 13, catch the next edition of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Penn State's legendary head coach Joe Paterno discusses his pursuit of Paul Bear Bryant's coaching record. Also, we profile the off-the-field problems that have plagued former Cowboys standout wide receiver and former 100-meter gold medalist Bob Hayes. That's Thursday night at 9 p.m. Real Sports. Nothing is out of bounds.
Don't get excited. Now, when you're up here, I want you to chin down a little bit more with the chin. See? Okay. When you drop in here, you got your shots to the body. You got it in here. Now, once you start looking for the body, then I want you to go right straight off the top with your left hand.
Come on, baby.
I know you in. There you go.
Jirov showed the right hand in that round and appeared to be outclassing Letterlough. Letterlough is going to have to land something damaging to keep Jirov off him soon.
Crowd begins to treat this as a quasi-Olympic event, chanting USA, USA. Jirov, no doubt, in international competition has heard that before.
I'm quite sure he did in '96.
When he was beating Tarver in Atlanta. That's right.
And Tommy Otaro.
Letterlough seemed to exit his corner with a little more of a purpose now as round 3 begins. Unless he's operating under a delusion, he knows he's lost the first 2 rounds. Julian Letterlough didn't expect to win a decision over Vasily Jirov. He's here to try to live up to his nickname, Mr. KO.
Jirov is doing a variety of things right now, and you can really see the experience of all of those amateur fights beginning to show as well as the professional fights. He's mixing up his attack, body punches, head punches.
That left hand may have hurt Jirov.
Big left hand by Letterlough.
He seriously hurt him too because he never expected it.
Jirov thought he was going to try to finish Letterlough, and Letterlough banged him with a left-hand shot. That momentarily changed the fight.
And he needs to get back to that left hook again.
Now Letterlough getting active with the right hand. Jirov hits him with a crunching right. Letterlough wobbles. They're starting to trade bombs here in round 3. Big body shot by Jirov to the middle of the belly.
That's the one he calls the 1,000-volt
Jolt of electricity.
shot.
Yeah. 1,000-volt jolt.
That's the third rail of boxing, a shot like that into the midsection.
That's the second time I've seen Letterlough blow congestion out of his nose in the middle of a round, Emmanuel. Can't that help a fighter to swell?
Not in this case, sure. His eyes are not closed up anything, so he's just trying to clear his breathing passages the best that he can at this stage, sure.
Don't do that.
Letterlough, by holding his hands high, now seems to be inviting the body shots, perhaps hoping to land something over it.
Well, that's what happened when he landed the big left.
And particularly was at the time when Jirov's mind was on strictly an offensive attack, wasn't looking for anything back and got caught with a left hook.
Big shots from both sides.
And Jirov looks at Letterlough in a different perspective as he walked back after that round.
To the body, you got to bring your hands back up, okay? Because he's punching after you finish punching. Okay? All right. Take your time. And don't be afraid to bring your hands up here. Bring them hands up high. And as long as you're up here, you're very effective with them up there. Okay? Keep working behind the jab. Now,
Got to keep that hand moving quicker, baby, because you're looking good when you're doing it. You're looking good. He's trying to come in tight to you now. He's trying to fight tight. He's leaning his shoulder and he's trying to step on that leg and come around them corners. You got to step your foot on the outside and push him back and dig.
There's the shot when the fighter is supposed to go, oof. Jirov thought he had him on his way out, and he was shaken by that left hook.
Big time.
At this point in time, I've been very impressed by Letterlough, considering such a handicap that he's given up in this fight, and he's taken some tremendous shots, and he has weathered the storm, is right back into the fight. And it's
Well,
turning
we
out to
saw
be
him
very
against
competitive.
Julio Gonzalez weather some stuff, so we know that his problem is not below the head and above the waist. His problem is in experience and weight.
Harold Evans scored through 3.
Okay, Jim, I got it 3-0, 30-27. The silly Jirov. Jim, to me, he's just winning it because he's the busier guy. Landing more shots, that real good straight left to the body, and a good right hook. Julian Letterlough has just got to move his hands more, even though he caught Jirov in the third round with a great counter shot. Jirov was too busy and won that round also.
Let go, let go, let go.
Agreed on all counts.
You know, we've talked about cruiserweights, heavyweights. If a light heavyweight, even a hard punching light heavyweight, can shake you with a left hook, what would a big heavyweight do?
Well, that's why it's just not a viable proposition. I mean, you know, people talk about Roy Jones moving up to heavyweights. It's a thing of the past. The heavyweights are in another stratosphere. They weigh 240, 250, and they're going to get bigger.
And that's what you said is true. Big heavyweights. The heavyweights now, to be seriously considered as a heavyweight, you have to be nearly 230 pounds today.
And you better be 6'4 or 6'5 too. If you're going to be up in the height range with, I mean, Hasim Rahman is 6'3, Lennox Lewis is 6'5, Vladimir Klitschko is taller than Lewis.
What was so effective for Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson was not physically a big guy, but he had such tremendous punching power and such speed and intensity and ferociousness that it neutralized the bigger guy's size. But all of these, supposedly Mike Tyson sits him who punch hard, but they don't have that speed that he had. He attacked with such speed that he could get away with that and neutralize that physical disadvantage.
Hey, the place to see fighters like Tyson in the future will be here in the cruiserweight division, if they exist.
Let go, let go, let go. Let go.
And maybe the division will gather more cachet over the years just because the heavyweights are getting so much bigger.
That's correct. And so what happens to a guy 220, 210? Whenever someone tells me he's got a heavyweight about 6'1", 200 pounds, 210, I mean,
Michael Bennett.
Yeah, what can you do with Michael Bennett?
Michael Bennett has talent.
It's not a heavyweight, it's not a cruiserweight. But in the Olympics, they have that division called heavyweight and super heavyweight. But we don't have it in professional boxing as a
Round 4 is very much like round 3. Both guys trading big shots.
You know, one thing I've noticed is that Letterlough almost never uses the left hand as to jab with. We pointed out before about how he can't straighten it out. That can't help him either.
Baby, spit, spit. How you feel?
Good.
Deep breath.
One in a minute. One in a minute.
On the side. You want this out. On the side.
This one. I know that doesn't taste good, but there's one in there.
A little bit. Deep breath from me. You're looking good, Jay. Don't let him try to box you. He's trying his best to keep you off of his ass. Maybe you move that quick head motion and you step in off of that foot motion and you dig to this body on both sides. You got
Okay.
Doing beautiful, baby, beautiful. You're looking real nice, champ. Just don't get careless, baby. Be smart. Just a matter of time. Matter of time. Breathe.
Yeah, up and get the jab on it and hit that body on it.
Breathe, breathe.
Seconds out, please.
Well, Larry Merchant made that point about the absence of a jab, and you saw the CompuBox numbers saying that 29 times Letterlough has thrown something that looked like a jab, not landing any of them, and of course, Jirov has been efficient with his own jab. Uppercut. New weapon in the Jirov arsenal. Letterlough much more in the fight than he was in the first couple of rounds.
Seemingly he's got more confidence from somewhere. I know prior to the fight, he seemed to have a fixation of just looking at Jirov as if he was just amazed by everything about him. And I think after the first 2 rounds, he's gotten over that, and he's taken Jirov as just being a fighter now.
I think that big counter left hook and the way that Jirov wobbled gave Letterlough a sense that, hey, maybe I can win this thing.
Well, his cornerman, Gary Nicholson, has a lot of confidence in himself being able to win the fight. And that's one thing that when the cornerman gives up, that hurts you a lot. But his cornerman is very confident that Julian can still win this fight.
And Gary Nicholson asked Letterlough to go to the body in this round, and you saw Julian trying to get to the body with the right hand there. He seems mostly inclined to punch upstairs. But hey, why not try to go to the body against a great body puncher? He's bound to respect it. They trade body shots.
Both of those punches were glancing blows on the top of the head.
But all 5 of them was glancing blows.
It's rapidly becoming a phone booth fight as Jirov's foot movement begins to go away. Neither man has been down so far, and that's a tribute to the staying power of both of them. I think Jirov's body attack is beginning to take some of the steam out of Julian's punches.
Yeah, the body attack, the physical advantage, the experience. And I think the fact that he's moving and doing a variety of things now, this last part of the round is very good instead of just laying in head to head, shoulder to shoulder.
Now, when he got back up on the balls of his feet and started to move,
yes,
his dominance increased.
Yes.
Well, it's only only the second time in HBO boxing history that we have visited the cruiserweight division. So let's take a look at the top cruiserweight fighters in the world. Larry?
These are the various title holders. Jirov regarded as the cruiserweight champion. Juan Carlos Gomez, a Cuban who fights out of Germany, also undefeated. Virgil Hill, former light heavyweight, is now one of the cruiserweight titleists. Another possible opponent for Jirov is James Toney, if he shows he can make the weight.
And following this, our main event tonight, we'll be traveling 64 pounds south to the featherweight division to see the man regarded by most as the best featherweight fighter in the world, 126-pound champion Marco Antonio Barrera, in the ring for the first time since his tactical destruction of Prince Nassim Hamed earlier this year, taking on a man who beat him in the amateurs, Enrique Sanchez. Round 6, Vasily Jirov in the tiger trunks and Julian Mr. KO Letterlough in the black. Jirov, to our eyes, has won the first 5 rounds, as you see reflected in Harold Letterman's scorecard there. So Letterlough yet to win a round on Letterman's card. Don't hold, don't hold.
But even though he hasn't won a round, Letterlough is putting up a very good exhibition of courage and punching power, and he seemingly is a lot more relaxed in there than I expected as the fight progresses. He seems to be more comfortable about everything that's going on.
Could be a learning experience for him, right?
Yes, especially when you consider I think he had no amateur fights.
Zero.
None, yes.
Yeah, and he did most of his sparring in prison with the same guy over and over and over. A fighter named Payne, who he felt could have been a middleweight contender. But Payne was smaller than Letterlough, so he was sparring against a guy who boxed him day in and day out.
At this stage now, Jirov's experience is starting to show. Once again, he's doing a variety of things. He's mixing up his attack a lot. Things with the right hand, with the left hand, long range punches, short range punching. But still, he's always got to be looking out for the power punching of Letterlough, because evidently his punching power is not diminished as the fight is progressing.
Tyrone Payne is the name of the fighter that Julian Letterlough boxed with in prison, nicknamed Scoop. Julian says, I think he'll be watching tonight.
They should be very proud of him, too, considering where he's at right now compared to where he was before.
Tough background. Met his father in the prison system. Had never met his father. And at age 17, he met his father while in prison. Amazing. He said they got along well.
Hell of a place to meet your father, to meet any relative.
Jirov dominating, but finding Letterlough a very tough nut to crack.
Yeah, Jirov's been the distance only twice in his career. He could be looking at going the distance here, because Letterlough has shown no vulnerability to the knockout so far.
Okay, okay. All right, take your time. He's getting tired. And he's going off balance with him. So now I want you to start taking your counters. Okay? Okay. When you step around, take your counter. Okay?
Just be careful at the beginning of the round.
Keep using your jab. Make him respect your jab. Once you start with your jab, he will start gambling. And once you start gambling with him, I want you to start taking your counters. Okay? Yeah. Just that simple. Okay? All right. All right. Take your time.
Breathe.
Okay? Good. All right. Inside, you want to try to lay on you. Don't let him lay on you. As soon as inside, try to rest.
Come on, you work on them every time. They sweet, baby. You can do them. Give me some of that ugly stuff that you know how to do. Take it down.
What's the ugly stuff?
I hope he doesn't mean dirty stuff.
Harold how do you have it scored halfway through?
Okay, Jim, 60-54, 6-0 favorite of champion Vasily Jirov. Hey, does anybody remember when Willie Pep went around without landing a punch? I wonder if anybody get the 4th round to Julian Letterlough. But be as it may, Vasily Jirov, the much busier guy. Interestingly enough, what Julian Letterlough is doing is he throws one punch and then he won't come back with a second one. Whether he lands or whether he misses, it's always one punch. And the judges see that. They see how busy that Vasily Jirov is. He wins it a clean punch.
The instructions that he got in his corner from his head trainer, Theo Torrance, I thought was very good. He told him to angle a little bit more boxing, keep Letterman changing positions, making him pivot and turn around a lot. And that way his experience would be a big advantage to him by doing that. And he seems to be doing exactly what he was told to do.
Del Torrance, veteran teacher, been around.
Hold up, stop the presses. I think I just saw Letterlough land a stiff jab.
Man bites dog. Speaking of man bites dog, that sadist trainer who had Jirov as a child in Russia, or in Kazakhstan, I should say, used to lock him in a hallway with an attacking German shepherd by way of increasing his courage and his escapability.
Yeah, and he still has the scars to prove it.
And as Larry pointed out before the fight, he'd take him out to the middle of a lake, drop him out of the boat, and said, "I'll see you back at the shore."
So when you consider
a big lake,
yeah, the miles long. When you consider his background and you consider what Mr. Letterlough has been through from his prison background, you have 2 tough guys inside.
Absolutely. And though the boxing economic pyramid is quite forbidding, and Jirov will probably never make the millions he might have dreamed of as a heavyweight, living in Scottsdale, Arizona after growing up in Kazakhstan can't be all that bad.
That's a world of difference. That's like going to heaven almost.
not too many fighters coming from the clean streets of Scottsdale as opposed to the mean streets of Kazakhstan and Pennsylvania.
Well, if he was born and raised in Scottsdale, he would not be here tonight.
He wouldn't be doing this. Unlikely. In fact, you rarely see star fighters from the upper economic regions of society, but you're going to see one in the main event. Marco Antonio Barrera, and there's a left cross that backs Letterlough up into the ropes. And Julian Letterlough, after all the body punches, seemed more affected by that one big left cross than any other punch.
Because he was relaxed. He didn't expect it.
Good catch. How you feel? How you feel?
In our opening, you saw the broad assortment of ring card girls who are favoring the Boxing After Dark telecast with their services tonight. This is Kirsten O'Brien. She works at an establishment here in Reno called the Gentleman's Club. And I'm sure that all of the patrons at the Gentleman's Club are entirely gentlemanly. Kirsten likes attention.
All right. Going from the sublime to the sublime, that left hand hurt Letterlough.
In round 7, by CompuBox numbers, Jirov outlanded Letterlough 36 punches to 3. But Letterlough's 3 landed punches were jabs.
He's mixing up his attack very good now from all different angles.
Vasily Jirov.
Yes, and it's just going to be, I think, a matter of time now. We're going down the stretch.
Think he might wear Letterlough down and get the TKO?
Yes, he's worn him down pretty much now. I think, and now he's mentally, not having that experience, whereas an experienced fighter can be tired, but just do things off of instinct. Letterlough does not have that going for him. Then he didn't have too many fights, so as things get to be a little bit more fatigued, he's going to start falling apart probably a lot more.
Jirov's sheer professionalism constantly on display. Head movement, not a lot of it, but enough to define him as a pro. The split step, then he moves in with either hand. The constant devotion to body punching. Fun fighter to watch if you know what the sport is all about. getting walloped. Once it happened pretty fast.
Yes, it's nothing he should be ashamed of. He fought a very good fight when you consider everything.
So another technical knockout victory for Vasily Jirov. His 27th KO in 30 fights. He maintains his unbeaten record and continues to look, at least to my eyes, like the best cruiserweight fighter in the world. Closed the show, landing 15 out of 16 power shots down the stretch.
Tigers go for the throat. Hyenas go for the stomach. And he's a bit of both. A Tigina.
Good fight, bro.
Good fight, man.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. It ain't no exhibition.
Listen, you did good. You did great, man.
I know I did.
You're a warrior.
I don't want you standing over here thinking it's exhibition. It's a real fight.
Take another look at the finish, Larry.
A workmanlike job by Jirov, softened up a very hard, tough guy, outclassed him with his experience, his size.
That uppercut was enough for Jay Nady.
A good look at a very good fighter and a very brave fighter in Letterlough.
Watching Jirov fashion a technical knockout is like watching an artisan build a house. You know,
Yes.
There's the foundation, which is the body punching, and then eventually he puts up the structure.
Tonight we saw a display of so many different things that you have to really appreciate Vasily Jirov. He did jabs to the head, body punches. He got back in box for a while. He did everything. And at the end, he used his experience. Instead of just staying in, he got back, got a distance, and started doing so many different things that mentally, Letterlough just couldn't handle all of that.
The Eastern Europeans are emerging. We may never get a chance to see Darius Mikulszewski on HBO, but we've seen Jirov. We've seen the Klitschkos. They're coming, and they're becoming a bigger and bigger force in professional boxing in the wake of the demise of the Iron Curtain. And we're going to see more in the future. Now let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars on this.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Jay Nady steps in and calls a halt to the bout. The winner by TKO victory at 1 minute, 24 seconds of round number 8. He is still the undefeated IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Vasily the Tiger Jirov.